Hey guys, happy September? Oh goodness, happy September. I lost my stitchy bug in August. What? What am I even talking about? Introduce the video, McKenzie. Hey guys, happy September. It is time to show my progress from the last month, August. I lost my stitchy bug in August pretty tremendously. But I have to say thank you to Tracy, especially, hey Tracy, especially for helping me get it back a little bit, or just kind of like giving me a little push. It is back now in full effect the last 3 or 4 days. I have like picked up some stitching, but there were a good like 2 weeks or like 2.5 weeks where I didn't stitch anything this month. I think it's just, you know when you get out of the habit of doing something, how hard it is to get back into doing it? Like anything, like making videos or anything in your life. Yeah, I just didn't do it for long enough that I didn't feel like I wanted to do it. But that's gone now, because I definitely want to do it now. I also have to say, as another, just a tiny little piece of housekeeping, thank you to Bianca from Bianca Loves Cross Stitch. I will link her channel down below, who very kindly let me know that someone else on YouTube was uploading my videos, and so now I have a whole copyright thing. But thank you so much, Bianca. That was so kind of you, and so lucky that you saw that and then you told me about it. So thank you. Okay, on to the WIPs. I have 4 WIPs right now. I did not work at all on 2 of them, I think. Let's start with the one I didn't do anything on, and that is the chatelaine. I didn't do any more of the back stitching on this, and it is driving me crazy. Look, I even left the needle and the thread in it, like I was gonna come back to it, and I didn't. So I showed this last month. It's in the exact same spot. I just have back stitching and beads left, and I haven't done it, partially because it seems like homework. These little hanging baskets look really beautiful, but I have to do so many of them, and they weren't very easy, so I just kind of wimped out and didn't touch it at all, although it is bothering me, this one, because it's so close to being finished, and I just have to do it, and the fact that it's been sitting in my closet area for 4 weeks or 5 weeks or however long it's been, 6 weeks since I touched it, it's really making me mental. So I think this month, maybe this week even, I'll just have to like make it homework. Just be like, finish that today, do it today. It'll probably take like 3 or 4 hours. Oh God, will it take that long for the back stitch? Back stitch only, probably not. I want to be done. This is a real bump in the road on these mini mandalas for me. So next month, my promise to you is that I will do it. I will have that one done. The other thing I didn't work on this last month, I don't think I did at least, was peacock pinwheels by Tempting Tangles. I'll show it again. Maybe I did work on it. I don't think I did though. Yeah, no, I think I had this last month. So that is what I have on peacock pinwheels by Tempting Tangles. Yeah, too much 1/1 this month, I think. I started the Quaker game board, and spoiler, I decided to do that 1/1 because I have this idea of similarly themed or similarly looking projects, all 1/1, so they're all like a certain size, and then I want to do something like one of those cubes or something out of them, or if I can find a way to like use a stretch canvas and mount it around that. I just have it in my head the way I want them to look, and so I'm picking patterns that I think will look good together and doing them all the same. So this is one. I would like to do this one, finish it in some kind of a like cube or stretch canvasy, just something that can like lean up against a wall. This is one, and then the Quaker game board, which I'll show in a second, is another one. And all of the ones, I've been buying really thematically similar pieces, like I was gonna do To Follow You, I'm Not Content, that pattern. I was gonna do that in that way too, I think. I'm trying to just think of things that I think would look good together and then stitch them so that they'll kind of be the same size, like a manageable size, like kind of small. So Quaker Game Board by Papillon Creations. I have a couple things to say about this one. I started this one last month as part of a stitch along with Laurel, and I chose to do this one on 28 count lamb's wool, which is a really, sorry it's up here, which is a really boring choice, I understand, but this is that piece that I had left over from my Dinky Dyes seasonal samplers when I found out I could fit 2 of them on one piece. Then I had pieces left over. So I just chose that, and I had to change a couple of colors, nothing really, only one really drastically. So I'm stitching this one 1/1, which means that it will be like 7 inches or maybe 8 by 8, which is so small and nice, and I love it. I don't know why I have such a roadblock with stitching Mirabilia skin 1/1, but I love stitching whole projects in 1/1. There's like a weird mental thing there. I think it's because I don't want to rechart anything. That's the thing that's keeping me from doing it on Mirabilias, is I don't want to do the whole like 4 stitches is 1 stitch. I don't want that. I don't want that mental trouble. But I'm happy to do like the whole thing 1/1. So I finished 2 pages of Quaker Game Board. Look how tiny! It's gonna be so small! So this is 2 whole pages. I left these little, what are these, octagons? Hexagons? Empty, because these are the ones that are like the free ones that you can put your initials in and the year. So I thought I would do that last. I'll just show you a real close-up because I really like this project. Yeah, so this is 2 pages. I think it's 3 pages across. Yeah, it's 3 pages across. So I have 1 more page. That'll be the corner here. And then there's 3 on the bottom. So I am 1/3 of the way done this pattern. Some of it, the colors I find don't really pop as well off of this fabric, the color that I chose. I think because I picked the DMC equivalents instead of the Gentle Arts threads, and so they're a little bit softer and kind of more dull. But I really like this. I like all the little bits. Oh, something else I haven't done is there are little stitched pieces in all of these little triangles at the top, and also the diamonds in between all the things. I haven't done that yet because they give you a couple of options in the pattern, which I'll show. I can't decide if I want them to be in there or not. I think I probably will put them in because it's gonna look a little funny if I don't. But they also give you some specialty stitch suggestions. So you can do lazy daisies, which I'm not gonna do. You can do satin stitch, you can do a partial eyelet. They have all these different specialty stitches that will fit in that space instead of just doing the cross stitch, which is what's charted. So I think I'm gonna save all of those little filler bits until the very end and then decide what I wanna put in there, or even if I wanna put any of them in there. And then the other thing I have to say is I changed one major color, and it's the color of the letters. Originally it's off-white, I think. Gosh, so unprepared this time. Pretty sure it's off-white. DMC. Oh, it's not. It's 3865, which is an off-white, but it's not like ecru or something. I had it in my head that it was. It was 3865, and I stitched like 3, I think I stitched A, B, and E in it, and I just couldn't see it on this fabric. I couldn't figure it out. I really am kind of missing the contrast of having a lighter color for the letters, but I just couldn't see it. And I even tried white, like I tried pure white instead, and it still didn't look good. It still got lost. So I changed it to, oh God, I don't even have that information down here, do I? I changed it to, I'll put it on the screen. I think it's like one of the 800s. It's this tan color. And I wanted something neutral in there that wouldn't be too darker than all the other colors, but also something that would still like show up. And I'm happy with that. I think you can see the letters really well. I couldn't believe how much the off-white, the 3865 just totally disappeared on this fabric. So I changed that color. I'll put it on the screen because I can't think of what I changed it to. So that is Quaker Game Board. So I worked on that a fair bit this month before my parents got home. And then my parents got home and then everything went out the window. I just didn't stitch it all. But when I did get my bug back in the last, like this weekend, I only wanted to stitch on my Mirabilia. And I think that's because it's not like I was stepping far away from that chatelaine. I did not want to do that back stitching. Even when I wanted to stitch, like when I had my bug still, I was not into that back stitching. So I wasn't going to do that. And I wasn't really into doing the 1/1. It seemed like too much like mental work. So I picked up my chatelaine and I worked on it really furiously the last couple of days. And so I have quite a bit of progress on it actually. So the last time you saw my Mirabilia, which is the August Peridot Fairy, I just had almost all of the butterfly wing done. Where's the pattern? Let me show you the pattern. Not the pattern, the cover. So this is August Peridot Fairy, and the last time you saw her, I had like 95% of that butterfly wing done. So I decided to pick it back up because, as I said, it's like bigger blocks of color. It's just easy 2/2 stitching. And I did a lot on it. So this is what she looks like now. I put in, after the wing, I went and put in her skin, her arms, and her kind of chest and face. And then I did her hair and the little thingy she has in her head, on her head. I think I'm gonna get one of these and wear it to work in the bakery. It's like a humongous fascinator on my head. And then last night I started in on her, like the bodice of her dress, and this is the sash, and then her actual skirt. I think I'm going to stitch on this one for a couple more days. I'm really into this one right now. It feels easy and like kind of effortless, and I don't want to mess with the bug. So I'm going to do this, I think, a little bit more. I already made a couple of changes, I think. A couple? Yeah, her face. So I put her face in. Normally I do the skin and the face last because I think it looks so funny like this. Like she looks like a little screaming mannequin. And I usually just put it in last because I don't want her weird face staring at me the whole time. But this is her face without backstitching. So I changed her eyes. Her eye color was supposed to be like this blue, this weird turquoise blue. And I thought it would look funny, truthfully. It didn't seem like I understand that she's a fairy. It didn't seem like a very like human eye color. And I thought it would really look like little X's because it was a light color and it was so far away from all the colors in her face that I thought it would look funny. So I made her eyes, I thought about making them like a kind of golden brown, like a lighter brown, but I just went with dark brown, super boring. And then I realized that it's the same dark brown as the one in her hair, and so I had to put, I don't know if you can see, I had to put this little stitch in right beside her eye of another color so that her hair didn't just like go into her eyeball. That was bad planning. I probably should have picked another brown, but did not realize that. Yeah, I thought about making them like this like light goldy color. I thought that would look kind of cool, but I didn't. And then same with red. I don't know if this is all Mirabilia's. I can't remember. Mermaid of Atlantis. I don't think she had lips actually. Mermaid of Atlantis might have just had back stitching because it was like the silhouette of her I don't remember, but Red had 2 different color lips. Her top lip and her bottom lip were different shades, and I just made them one shade. I did the same thing with this one. So the top lip and the bottom lip, I just made the brighter color, which I think was the bottom lip color. I don't know why I guess it's supposed to look like natural lip shading, but she's got lipstick on in my head. So just this bright pink, which actually is one of the colors in this sash. So I kind of like how that's tying in. So those are the changes I made to her face. Obviously, if you haven't noticed by now, I did my skin 2/2, as I do. I am your girl for lazy 2/2 skin. I do not mess with 1/1 skin. And if you needed like a nudge in that direction, let me tell you, I stitched all of her skin in one day. One day. Can't do that with 1/1. Yeah, so I've said this before. I don't do 1/1, not because I don't think it looks good. I think it really does add an interesting like textural element where the skin looks more refined than everything else. I just don't mind that everything looks the same. I just don't mind it. And also, I think the process of recharting the skin in my brain to do it 1/1 would make me really not enjoy the stitching. So that's why I do 2/2. I think it looks fine. It looks fine, right? You don't have to do 1/1. You do not. And the other thing I wanted to say about her is look at this like high fashion pose that she has. She's totally got the like model, like the model hand. And I kind of enjoy this like, she's very model-y to me. She's got this huge like expanse of clavicle and then this like sassy hand pose. So yeah, I'm really into this one right now. August Peridot Fairy. I'm going to keep stitching on that, I think, for a few days before I make myself go do that chatelaine. And then we'll see. So the last thing I wanted to show, just at like the tail end of this video, is my Kreinik storage. Just because everyone has been showing their Kreinik storage, and mine is not as cool. Do not get excited. It is not as cool as the shotgun shell case that everybody is using. Although there's something really interesting about that. Like it's the equivalent of like putting a daisy in a gun barrel. You know, like, shotgun shell case full of sparkly thread. No, my Kreinik storage is a jar. Super boring, right? This is I think an 8-ounce wide-mouthed canning jar. I got them on Amazon. I got a set of 6. This holds like 15. I think it's 15. Pretty snugly. Yeah, it's just a jar. I think this is a really good size. When I was looking, I had it in my head that I wanted them in jars because I think it's kind of cool looking, and when I have a spot of my own for stitching, just for stitching, I would like to have these out because I think they look neat. All I did was I measured 1 spool of Kreinik lengthways so that I made sure I got a jar that was tall enough so that I could have the lid on it. I didn't want to have to dust them. Like I didn't want them to get dusty. And then I don't even think I measured the other way to see how many would fit. This was just a lucky coincidence that they fit this nicely. Here's the top, if that's helpful, the number. But like I said, I think this is an 8-ounce canning jar. I'm going to change the tops. I think I'm going to paint them. I don't really know. I haven't investigated what kind of paint would paint this really well. I just might go to Michael's one day and see what I can do, and then I think they would look really nice. So that's my Kreinik storage. It's not exciting. It's just a jar. Okay, that is it for my WIP update this month. Again, I have to say thank you to Tracy for helping me get my stitchy bug back and just giving me a little bit of encouragement. And Bianca, again, for helping me out with my channel stuff. That was really meaningful. So, yeah, that is it for this month. As far as progress goes, I will see you in the next one. Bye.